this is an Ultrasabers shock lightsaber, and it's pretty much a clan saber in its design. So a clan saber, clan lightsaber is kind of a lightsaber design that several characters, more background characters in the prequel trilogy use. So this clan saber in particular, this design is very similar to the Shock T lightsaber, the Adigalia lightsaber, and also the Obi-Wan Kenobi arena lightsaber. So that's the Obi-Wan Kenobi, or the lightsaber that Obi-Wan Kenobi uses in the Geonosis arena. Although this lightsaber hilt design is not exactly like those hilts, but it takes a lot of kind of inspiration from it, especially in this emitter section right here. But there aren't as many like knobs and things as you see in the design of those other kind of lightsaber designs that I mentioned. So this hilt, you guys, it's pretty long. It's 11.5 inches long, which, you know, a lot of lightsabers are around 12 inches long or so, but this one is pretty big, so, you know, it would be more of a two-handed saber. And the emitter section is certainly the star, okay? I love the design of this emitter. It's gorgeous. You have this nice flat top to it. It's a flanged emitter, just meaning that this part sort of flares out at the top of the lightsaber. And then below the flanged emitter part, we have these kind of extruded rings, a series of 3 of them, and they're a little bit rounded over. And then below that, we have a groove right here, and then a bit of a taper, and, you know, kind of another extruded ring section, really. And then we get to the AV switch part, and this whole section is kind of flattened out. And then we get to another kind of extruded ring over here. So this hilt kind of blends. It has several sections of these sort of extruded rings, and then there are also these sections of grooves. And so they really kind of offset each other and complement each other. And that's something that I like about the design a lot. So the grip section down here, it has these 3 grooves that, you know, helps to grip the lightsaber. And then we get, where we have the cover tech wheel down near the bottom of the lightsaber. And then finally we have the pommel, and that has 2 additional grooves. And what's nice about these grooves in particular, you could add some O-rings to it, or you could add some coloring to it, and it would really make the hilt pop a little bit more. In fact, Ultrasabers does offer a few additional kind of finishes for this hilt design. So this is just the standard shock, and they also offer a shock LE, which has some gold colored accents to it, and the accents are added in particular to some of the grooves in other areas. And then another one that they offer is the shock, or the dark shock, and that hilt is primarily black, and then the accents are silver accents in the grooves and such. So those are good options if you're looking for kind of a lightsaber that already has some of that color contrast going on. Otherwise, this hilt right here, the standard shock, is kind of a nice basic, and it would be very customizable in terms of its appearance if you'd like to do that. So this hilt has both a removable pommel, which is pretty standard, and a removable emitter, and both of these pieces are MHS compatible. So that means you could kind of swap them out for different MHS compatible pieces from Ultrasabers. You could also use different MHS parts from the custom saber shop. So those would have to be MHS V1 parts from the custom saber shop. But you have lots of opportunities to kind of use these parts to, you know, make a different lightsaber if that's your thing. But it's just a really neat design. I like this sort of clan saber appearance of the hilt, and it's also kind of neat that it's a bit of a simplified design, so it doesn't have all these extra like greeblies added to it, but that makes it like a little kind of more practical for like holding it. You know, those greeblies don't get in the way, although there is kind of the cover tech wheel down here. But there's lots of opportunities to really customize this hilt in terms of swapping out the pommel and emitter, and also just in terms of adding some color or some O-rings to some of the grooves. So it's a nice hilt, and also I guess one last thing I'll say is that there's not really any sharp edges here. I know people are always asking if hilts have sharp edges. That's a pretty important question to ask, and I can't really detect any here. So this is the shock lightsaber. It's by Ultrasabers, and it's sort of a clan saber style design.